There is a reason why we can't find this next Morgan dollar pair we're going to talk about. And it's because, like with currency, people collect serial numbers for any number of different reasons, right? In coinage, it's the triple date. And there's only one Morgan dollar triple date. Do you remember the year? Well, there is only one, so it has to be 1888, triple eights. Here we go. So I know triple sevens is a lucky thing for gambling. Triple eights is a lucky thing as well. Triple nines. I mean, everybody has their thing on the triplicate. But the Morgan dollar series, since it was issued from 1878, so there's no triple sevens, right? And it ended in 1904, so there's no triple nines. The only triple is the lucky eights. And tonight we have the two key coins in the series. And the unique thing is when you listen to the numbers, and I'm a numbers geek guy, so I will talk to you about the numbers as just part of the beauty, the price, and everything else. But the 1888 O and the 1888 P, New Orleans and Philadelphia are here. The O mint mark is above the D in the O and dollar. And as we've discussed many a times in the past, there is no mint mark for Philadelphia in the Morgan dollar series. So let's talk about 1888 first, because it gets a perspective of time. All right? What happened in 1888? So just think about this in history. National Geographic was formed. Yeah, right? Benjamin Harrison was president. Remember that guy in England named Jack the Ripper? Yeah, that's when his first documented murder took place. So you have this time frame of, well, in this case, we're in the year 2025. So we're talking about a coin that's, give or take, 140 years old. And these are not remakes. These are not taking the image and making it in 1 ounce of silver and saying it's a copy. These are the actual coins struck by New Orleans and Philadelphia in 1888. They are the best of the best. Look at that. I mean, the detail. And again, remember, San Francisco is the mint that's known for what? Quality of strike. New Orleans and Philadelphia were just about striking coins and getting them out into the population. Philadelphia took care of most of the population in this country as we started moving west, which happened in the late 1870s, 1880s, the roaring 90s, right? We had New Orleans taking over part of the distribution because we needed money in the middle of the country where the people are congregating and the people are moving west. Whether it's the train or the wagon trains or whatever, we were moving west. So New Orleans is popular, but again, the hand-me-down mint for quality. Tonight, uncirculated specimens. Look at our price. The O at 89, the P at 69.95, respectively. It is again, it is your choice. You don't have to buy both to get the low price. If you're an O mint person, then just get the O mint. If you just want looking for value, well, again, you can't beat $69.95 for a vintage Morgan dollar. When you look at 2025's projected costs for the uncirculated Morgans that are due out in a matter of a few months, we're looking at $95 to $99 from the U.S. Mint for this year's Morgan dollar. And we can go back 140 years ago and get you the same 1 ounce of silver, the original coin that created the modern day movement, for under $100. Yeah, fun stuff. Fun stuff. So my competition, the O is a bit more valuable than the P, and I'll get over the numbers in a minute in my geek talk. But my competition is north of 150 and just under 150 respectively. We're at 89 and 69 for the few rolls we have of each of these beautiful triple eights. Now here's the unique part of that. Numbers. Again, remember, we used to look at the red book as the guidebook, and it still is. How many were made versus how many weren't made year to year. And you can make the comparisons of which one stacks above the other, which is why we know that the 93O is the lowest minted O, the 94P is the lowest minted P, etc. Right? Just because they told us. However, the Pittman Act of 1918 melted 60% of all the Morgans to help supply silver to England for their use in India when there was the run on their silver certificates. We couldn't give them our coins because we weren't in the war yet. President Wilson had us out at that time as neutral. So we had to do something. The Pittman Act melts the coins. We just have no idea which ones because they didn't keep track. Well, now when you have NGC, PCGS, ANEX, ICG, CAC, these grading services that are out there and they document everything they see. And ANEX, NGC, and PCGS, all over 40 years old, which means you have some history. When you look at how many coins are seen, it tells you. Now, I can go to a coin show and I know what I'm going to see and what I'm not going to see based upon. But that's 40 years of doing this for a living. And many of you might have the same thing. You're looking for a coin. If you find it, it's a needle in a haystack. Thank you. I'm happy. But reality is you probably won't. Because you know from habit, these coins show up, these coins don't. The mintage doesn't matter. Well, if you look at the number of coins that have gone through PCGS alone, you look at the 88.0. Listen to this number. 88.0 is 32,000 and change. Why is that significant? Well, a couple of years earlier, the 83.0 was 150,000, the 84.0 was 244,000, and the 85.0 was 224,000. They're all selling for the same price. I want the one that only has 32,000 known. Philadelphia is just as crazy. The 88 is 54,000. The 85, 87,000. The 86, 148,000. The 87, 185,000. So we're getting coins that are theoretically supposed to be available, but the market tells us they're not. And by experience, we know they're not, which is why the premium at almost double at our price on the O Mint and double our price on the P Mint. Guys, I blew right through the stop sign. We do not have time for a clock. All I will say is if you're visiting us via the web, avccoins.com, and this is in your shopping cart and you're hanging around for a while, push the order through. This is going to sell out very shortly. Again, 888s for the first time in a long time. The 88.0, the 88P, look at the price.